Are the French as obsessive too? Like they're
With
perfectionists?
coffee?
Yeah.
Mm, no, no, but there is a lot of bad coffee. But no, we were not like the Italians. We have these things with bread, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I only asked just because I was like, man, you're gonna hate me. I made I made instant coffee just recently. I didn't have time to brew a pot.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Anyways, yeah. So we're live. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you. I'm guessing Mars. I can call you Mars, or would you prefer to go
Yeah,
by
yeah,
anything
yeah.
else?
No, Mars is fine.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Mars, for joining us, for taking the time, especially with the time difference.
Thank you.
Perfect. So we were talking a little bit about this off stream, but I'm wondering, what is life in France like these days? Because you mentioned you're from Paris, but I'm guessing you've been to different cities and provinces as well.
Yeah, not that much actually. I didn't travel that much, and when I travel, it's mostly out of France. But yeah, in Paris, I feel like it's very different from all the other city in France. Everyone is so angry all the time. Everyone is so like fast life. You know, everyone have their own life, and then they don't want to share it with everyone with anyone. They woke up, they go to work, and they leave, and they go back home.
Hmm.
So yeah, and I
I
don't
mean,
like
yeah.
that.
I guess that's every city though. Anywhere you go.
Yeah, but I feel like when you go to Lyon, I don't know,
Hmm.
in France, everything is so chill. You have the mountains. You have, I don't know. You can talk with anyone. Everyone is so kind, and in Paris is, I don't know. It's different because my dad live in Lyon, so I can go there sometime, and I can see the difference.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Because I mean, outside of Lyon, it seems to be like all these like tiny little cities. There's not really anything
Yeah,
for very long distance, and a lot of farmland I see here as well. So yeah, the urban center
yeah.
isn't it's not nearly as dense as something like Paris. Sorry,
Like
I don't want to butcher the the accent. Sorry.
no, no, that's fine. But like in Lyon, you take your car 10 minutes away, you can see like plains and forests and everything. But in
Hmm.
Paris, it's 1 hour away, at least.
Did they manage to clean the Seine yet or no?
The what?
The river. Do you not have a river by the name of
Oh,
Seine
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Paris?
The Seine.
Am I
Wait,
not
sorry,
pronouncing
sorry,
it?
sorry. No, no, that's right. Seine.
Yeah.
They did for the Olympic Games, but
Hmm.
nobody wants to go inside it. Like mm, this summer, they had like an area um, where it was very clean, actually, but it was a very small area, like a normal pool, I would say. But there was a lot of people. Like yeah, so
Yeah, I remember.
mm,
They created like a special zone where people could actually swim. They sectioned it
yeah, yeah.
off against the rest of the river.
But I do believe you can go inside it without getting sick or anything because um, like we have the Seine that go through Paris, but when you just leave Paris, instantly it becomes La Marne, which is another river. Yeah,
Hmm.
and you can swim in La Marne. And that's fine. You just have to go home and take a shower, and everything will be fine. I do that sometimes in summer, but in Paris, it's different because you have all the pollution, the cars,
Hmm.
some sort of terrific stories about bodies and murder.
Yeah, there was. there was a YouTube video that I saw a while back where somebody, yeah, they said like why it would fail, and they went through like um all the different layers of infrastructure, so all the sewers and everything that go into the Seine, and what happens during
Mhm.
the rain, and how it gets flooded, and
Yeah.
how a lot of this was built, centuries ago, and why it's just so difficult. I mean, almost impossible to clean it, because this has been done even like before the Olympics. Like they tried this like decades
Yeah.
ago as well, and nothing has worked. And it's a nice thing for politicians to promise, because
Mm.
how great would it be if you lived in a city where you could just jump in the water and it's clean. But realistically,
Yeah.
like, whether it's London or even Moscow, any of these like major cities that have like a giant river going through it, like you're not going to be able to swim. I mean, even in Canada, the closest thing that we have is the it's called the Rideau Canal, um, which actually in the winter it freezes over, so you can
Mm.
actually skate on it.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah, so it starts here, and then it goes through like the entire city. So in the winter, if you're brave enough or strong enough, you can actually like just put on a pair of skates and skate your way to work.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it
But yeah,
goes like
in
through the
big
city.
city, it's just impossible to clean.
Hmm.
But there is a, I think it's in Switzerland, and the city is called Bern, Bern, and people just leave work, like go back home, swimming in the river in summer. I think it's Bern, but I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah, like the river moves, so people can just
Yeah,
like they can just lie on their back, and it takes them like
yeah,
through the
yeah,
through
yeah.
the city. Yeah, yeah. I think I've seen that before. Yeah, yeah, where people literally
Mm,
just float on like some. Yeah, yeah, here it is. Yeah.
yes, exactly. But that's Switzerland. It's it's
I mean,
another world.
yeah, they're gonna keep theirs clean. That's for sure. Oh, that's awesome. So, you've lived in France all your life, or have you had a chance to travel yet? Because I know that Europe, one of the big advantages is that you have your train system, and you can be in a different country in like 30, 20 minutes, however long.
Yeah. No, I lived my entire life in Paris. Um, but and I started traveling mm, last year actually. Like I'm French and Algerian, so when
Hmm.
I was young before COVID, I used to go to Algeria like 3 to 4 times per year. Like I don't know, maybe 2 months, 2 months. Um, And but yeah, the only country outside of France that I did before was Algeria.
Hmm.
And last year I went to Australia with a friend, and that was awesome. And this summer I went to Quebec, actually.
Oh yeah, how did you like Quebec?
I loved it. Like I love mountains, nature, animals, all that kind of stuff. But Quebec, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's so big, so big compared
Hmm.
to France. Like when you go to the mountain in France, you can I don't know how to say it, but you can see other mountains and stuff. But in Quebec, when you are on top of the mountains, even if they are not as high as in France, I don't know how to say it, but you can see so far, and you can see that it's very, 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 very big, and it's so cool.
Oh yeah, it's easily our biggest province. Not counting like the territories up here, but nobody really thinks about them.
Yeah.
Like Quebec, like yeah, it's huge. That's it's absolutely huge. Did you have a chance to visit like Montreal or Quebec City?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a full like we traveled, like we stayed a month in total, and we did different city, different yeah. We had a camper van,
Oh, nice,
and
nice.
yeah.
What do you think of the accent?
Uh,
What do you think of the
it's
French? Because I hear some very negative opinions that the French have of the Quebec.
no, I loved it. It's I don't know. It's friendlier. Can we say this? Yeah,
Hmm.
friendlier. So yeah, it's compared to Paris, the French, the Paris accent, because we like all the other people, all the other French people said that we have an accent in Paris. It's Quebec. It's I don't know. It's soft and it's friendly and welcoming.
Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a stereotype, but yeah, I've heard that the people of France are not a fan of the Quebecois accent, but I
Yeah,
that that that
in
that can just be a
general, yes.
stereotype.
Like we used to make fun of the Quebecois accent,
I
but
mean, I
uh,
get it.
yeah, but whoa, the French whoa, the people that live in Quebec and that talk French there
Hmm.
are the one who are right. Wow, that was so difficult to say. Um, there are the people that talks real French. Like in France, we modified it too much, so it's yeah. I don't know. I feel like I lost you on that.
No, no, I understand what you're what you're trying to say. Yeah, because from what I've heard, the Quebecois, it's just it's a more rural accent. It's more like personable in the way that they talk, and French just seems like a little bit more rigid. Like I remember seeing
Yeah,
a
exactly.
a video of someone they were traveling to France, and it was clearly like some American that had a little bit of French, and they're just walking in the morning, going to the cafe, and they say to someone bonjour, and then the other person's like like what? Wait, what are you trying to say? And
Yeah,
they corrected them like multiple times, and it was like just the slight variation, and I was like, okay, well that's just you're
mm-mm.
being like way too precise with it,
Yeah,
and it kind of gives like French people that stereotype that they're uptight, they're very defensive, very strict about the way that they speak, which I understand. Like I get it. They're very proud of,
yeah.
of, of the language of the culture. Totally get it. But yeah, I've seen them like with the language differences, they can be very strict like that.
Mm, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I understand. It's fine. We've interviewed many people on this show before that have not had English as their first language, so it's not a problem. Um,
Okay.
But just to move forward here, so we were speaking off stream where you mentioned that you were going to art school, and some of the
Hmm.
artists that I've interviewed, they've had mixed opinions on art school, whether it's useful or a benefit to them. But what is it that made you want to actually pursue schooling instead of wanting to learn on your own or doing an apprenticeship or something like that?
Um, in high school, I hated high school, and
Hmm.
I was just like drawing on different sheets of paper on my school book and everything. And I was sure I didn't want to do something related to school, like working in office, and
Hmm.
I didn't want that. And the only thing that I was kind of familiar with was arts. So I looked for an art school, and my mom wanted me to go to school. So that's why I did it. But I think if I had to like redo it, I would still go to an art school. It's so um, like it builds me. It built me. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, mm, like I can feel that if I didn't get to art school, my level would not be the one I have today.
Hmm. You feel like it helped you create like a your base skills. It taught you the fundamentals of art.
Yeah,
Then is what you're trying to say.
yeah, yeah. and it's so much easier because you have all the teachers and stuff. And when you learn art on your own, you have to do everything, and it needs so much discipline,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't had when I left high school, and I needed to build that discipline that I have now, and I'm very proud of it. But yeah, when I was 18 and when I had the choice, uh, this will not be possible. Wouldn't be possible.
Well, I mean, who at 18? Who among us at 18 can say that they had, amazing discipline? Like
Yeah,
your
that's true.
your
That's
brain
true.
doesn't really like form that part of discipline until you're maybe 25, 27. So like you're
Mm-mm.
still basically just a kid, but you're bigger. Up until that
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Okay, so you went to art school straight out of high school, and
Mhm.
what is the structure like in the school that you go to? Like, how many years do you do the degree for? How do you go about um, choosing a specialization, like what you want to focus on? Because I'd imagine that some people they work on sculptures, some people work on fine art like oil painting, some people do digital art. How does that work for your school there?
Um, it's a private school, so it's different. It's not like fine art school. You there is a year where you learn everything, like literally everything, architecture, how to talk about your work, like communication, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um, and like also still life drawing, figure drawing, like literally everything. And then after you can choose what you want to do. And in my school they had three main subjects, which are sorry, architecture, communication, and art direction, like to be an art director. I don't know if you can say it in English.
Yeah, curator,
Um,
art director. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, and I chose art direction, and it's more about um, drawing and um, yeah, design, graphic design, like and also typography, calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's I'm still doing a lot of things, but it's more oriented about drawing and yeah.
So when you say art director, so the at the end of your when you get your diploma, when you graduate, you're going to be
Mhm.
able to like apply, to a museum or a gallery and be part of the team that selects like the pieces that are going to be on the exhibit, or what do you mean by that?
Um, like it's not like when you go out when you finish school, um, people will not hire you to be an art director because you just finished school. So it's
Mm-hmm.
something you need to build, and it's you need to have experience and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But I maybe the correct term is more like visual director,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like when I say art director, you understand like only in museum and everything, but it's also work on magazine, on on brands and a lot those kind of things. Not
Movies,
only
music videos. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like everything that need an art direction. And
Okay.
also, it's in 5 years. I didn't say it.
5 years. So it's a 5-year
Yeah,
program.
5 years. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then in those 5 years, so you said you start with the fundamentals, and then you make your choice between the three or four different degrees that you want to pursue, and then as you go
Mhm.
on, um, are you still learning like more because you said you're still focused on drawing and especially with your digital art. As you go into the program, are you now then learning um, like how to properly curate, how to create a style, how to manage like a project? Do you learn any of that?
Yeah, I'm still learning every day, and I love it. That's why I make in art too. Um, but they, at least for now, they don't teach you how to manage a project, but it's more like um, uh, being an artist. Like you make your own projects. Of course, they give you the subjects and like they commission you,
Mm-hmm.
so you kind of do it for them for the school. But yeah, they don't teach you how to manage a team or anything like that. For example, at least for now.
Okay, I see. And for some of the schools here in North America, what they do at the end of a year is they allow the students to have an exhibition where they can showcase, some of their best work through the year. And do you guys
Oh,
have something similar to that, like an
mm,
exhibit that the university helps to provide for that?
uh, no, not at all. Like we have and I don't know how to say it. I will describe it to attract new people to the school. Like they're making like weekends where they show the students'
Hmm.
works, like drawings and everything. So that's where you can show your work, but uh, the school choose um, wh- which work they want to show. So it's not.
Hmm.
No, we don't have something like that,
Okay, so what
unfortunately.
do you have any like final end of the year projects that you guys have, or is it just like you're, just doing your homework, your assignments, whatever it is that they're um not
Oh,
sponsoring you for, but like what was the word? Commissioning you for.
mm.
And then you just like finish the year and you start the next one. Like do you have any like big final things at the end of the year that you guys have to work on?
Yeah, we have one in third year. So the year I'm in actually, and in the last year, the fifth.
So this is where you would get the chance to do like an exhibition of your own, or is it just one piece that you have to hand in, and that's the major one that you're getting graded on?
Um, like it's there will be an exhibition, but it's only for the school members. Like
Mm,
I don't think it will be open to outside people. No.
okay, but it is just the one piece because the reason that I mentioned that is because in North America and some of the art schools that we have here, when the students have their final project for the year, they'll do like a whole show. So it's multiple pieces. So there's like a whole theme to it, and
Mm.
they can even they don't just have to hang like the canvas or the digital work or whatever it is that they're exhibiting. They can even hire, if they have the money for it, they can hire like people to hand out certain food that is also part of the theme, or have
Oh,
like a
whoa.
musician play. So they make it like a whole show, right? The whole idea is to like create an atmosphere that matches the kind of theme and story that you're trying to tell with your work. But from what you're telling me, it's just like here's the assignment. They'll hang it, display it, however, and then like that's it.
Yeah, it's just one big project, and of course we have to talk about it because there will be
Hmm. Hmm.
a jury, like yeah,
Yep. Yep.
um, with like the director and the teachers, and so you can get graded. But yeah, no, there is no exhibition like that, like you have.
I see. I see. So you're in that year now, and based on I would assume that you guys get summer off, so your semester
Yeah.
is going to end sometime in like March, April, like spring.
More like May, end of May. Yeah.
Okay. So do you, now that you're in that year and you've done, so you said you're in your third year now?
Hmm.
Okay, so now that you're in your third year, do you have an idea of what you would want to do for your final exhibit, or does that kind of like come in maybe 2 3 months before, or is it something that people start like immediately as soon as they get into the third year?
Um, no, I know what I want to do, but they only gave us the subject uh, 2 weeks ago, and we have to like we need to choose an object, and we can
Mm-hmm.
do whatever we want around it. And personally, I want to make a comic, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like when I say comic, is it only like the superhero one, or comic is the word for everything, like the French one, the European one too?
Yeah, I mean, there's when we say comics here, like usually people associate it with superheroes, but they
Hmm.
can also say like visual novel, which is the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Something
Okay.
more uh like Watchmen. That's considered like a more visual novel because it's very. I don't know if you ever had the chance to read it, but like it's very thick. It's not just like
Yeah,
10
yeah.
20 pages. Like it's an actual story, or even the V for Vendetta comic or visual novel, where they don't just have like all these crazy scenes and whatnot, but there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of storytelling. So it's basically the same thing.
Okay. Okay. Because in France, when we say comics, it's only superhero. So that's why. But okay, I will say comics. So yeah, I want to make a comics for my
And
final assignment.
okay, and when you said that they give you the object or the focus, so they actually the instructors, they will tell
Mhm.
you what not like what your piece should be about, but kind of like something to guide you. So like an idea or a focus that you should have when you're making this final project.
Yeah, yeah, they will help us, but it they will also let us very free because that's so personal and everyone has their own style, their own story, their own everything. So it's difficult when you are a teacher to just say no. It should be like that. It should be like that.
Hmm.
You can't really say it until you see the final project. So yeah,
Okay. And what made you choose a comic? Because that's something that's like extremely difficult, especially for one person to do. I mean, even if it's only 5 or 10 pages, like even
yeah,
that, you have to think of the dialogue, you have to think of the story, you have to think of the color and the color grading, the style of comic that you want to do, because not all comics are the same. If you compare comics from the 60s and 70s to what they look like now, it's extremely different.
yeah.
So what made you want to choose that kind of a medium? Because like that's very difficult for a single person to do, even just for a small project.
Um, I, since I can remember, I've always read mangas, especially.
Hmm.
Um, and when I went to art school, so I was my drawing style was very manga oriented. And when I went to art school, they told me that it will not be possible. Like I can't draw like that. That's not real art. And so, do you hear my Discord notification?
No, no,
No. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
no. It's fine.
And I'll just mute it because
Yeah, sure. Take your time. No worries. It's interesting that you say that. That they told you it's not real art? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but
That's insane.
there is a lot of people, a lot of French people that went to art school with a manga art style
Hmm.
that have the same experience as me.
Because the thing
And
is,
yeah,
like
it's
in Japan, it's like it's something. It's very difficult to like actually become like a best selling like manga author or somebody
yeah,
that draws manga. Like it's a very respected role, and I understand like that's where it came from. That's where it originated. But even for for art school for people in art school to say that that's not a real style or it's not legitimate or it's not as good or interesting is insane to me because like that's something that's still very hard to do. I mean, manga is not easy to draw,
of course,
especially like the black and white, which is like the traditional color format for manga. Like the amount of shading that they have to do to give depth and to show all the different like outlines of the characters and the shapes and to think about how they show motion like it is a very difficult thing to do. So I'm surprised that in art school, like they actually tell you just straight up, like, yeah, no, we actually don't consider that a legitimate art style. That seems insane to me.
yeah. For me too, and honestly, um, I don't know, but in France, um, it's like you know the parents saying video games are ruining your life.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Hmm.
play fine. It's not a real thing. I don't know how to say it, but you can understand.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the same for manga and but honestly now it's less than before. Like it's becoming more and more a thing.
Like I understand if they take a look at this, right? Like this is one of the most like famous memes. But if they take a look at this and they think, oh, well, that's that's a stupid art style, whatever. It's like okay, but that's somebody would drew that when they were 12. That's not
Yeah.
a you can't compare that to like Berserk or One Piece. Like it's very
Mm-mm-mm.
very difference in style. So yeah, I was just shocked when you said that people have that stigma or that dislike for this style because
Yeah.
on the highest levels of it, if you look at like the most famous manga of all time, like even like Death Note, the artists are extremely skilled. Like
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
not something that is easy to do at all.
But that also because when manga came in France,
Hmm.
all the French comic author were like scared because uh, every young people at least, were only reading manga and not comics anymore.
Mm,
And so they were like, okay, that's not something we want to do and not something we want to see here. We only want to see European comics and that's it. I think there is something like that, of course, and it uh, now it's not like that anymore. But
mm.
there is still some people that think that way.
Okay. I mean, I understand. They want to be protective of their culture, but I mean, like, well, like they want to say that Asterix is like better visual quality than than Berserk or any of these other famous
Mm,
manga. Like that just seems silly. Because I like look, I'm not, I don't want to be disrespectful to the artists here. I'm sure this took a lot of work, but to say that this has like some better quality than another comic, it seems a little
yeah,
ridiculous to me.
I agree. For me, especially in arts where everything is very subjective, you can say such things.
Hmm. Okay. So for your comic, do you have an idea for the kind of story that you want to tell or the kind of style that you want to do or just like your the ideas for your final? Have you given any thought to that yet?
No, I don't have much time to think about it with all the work that I that I have, especially now. Um, but yeah, I'm sure it will come.
Yeah, because I remember, I used to love comics as a kid as well. I didn't really read as many, but I liked, like, drawing my own comics, like, with stick figures, like stick
Mhm.
people, just very basic. But when I actually tried to make it in, like, some software on the computer, it was just so difficult, like, being able to fit all the dialogue in the speech bubbles and, choosing which scenes to do on what page. I found that I have to like go back into a page, completely wipe it,
Yeah,
restart, and just like keep doing that process again. And I just found it so difficult to do that I was like, okay, I like drawing them by hand, maybe like just for fun, but as a job, I don't know if I could if I could do something like this. And obviously not, because now comics, you know, they have entire teams. It's very rare
yeah,
for somebody to just come out with, you know, like a comic that's done all on their own. Um, so I have a lot of respect for those people. I understand the reaction that parents have, like, oh, they think it's junk, they think it's trash. Like,
mm,
fine, okay, I totally get it. But you know, there's plenty of books that are written, you know, just as like a nice, like lazy read. They're not supposed to be like too deep or, you know, too hard
yeah,
to think. Like all these different romance novels that women are going crazy for, you know, like all that. It's the same thing as comics. You know, if you want a really like deep, like mentally engaging comic, then you can read something like Watchmen that actually goes into
yeah,
like philosophy of what it means to be human, what it means to live in a world that now has the nuclear bomb, and you know all these different themes in the stories. So there's a range, you know, like, or you can just read like Batman and Spider Man and all that, and
of course,
even
but
some of
like
the,
in
yeah,
everything.
even some of those stories, like they're still very like deep and very interesting. Like the
Yeah.
I think it was the Return of the Dark Knight. Uh, yeah, yeah, this one. Have you had a chance to read this series?
No, I'm not into superhero comics. Actually, like the first one that I've read was Absolute Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah,
So it was like 2 months ago. That was my first comic ever.
yeah,
But
because
I do love superheroes and the movies, but like the superhero comic style, I don't like it that much.
yeah, because there's an artist that I follow on Twitter. I forget his name, but he was very good at drawing like very like hyper realistic heroes, like very toned with the muscles and all that, like very clearly very good with figure drawing. And he made
Hmm.
this one comic. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. um no, it's not this one. There's a it, but it was drawn in like that old style where like the muscles are very well defined and the costumes and all
Yeah,
that, but you could clearly tell that there was a lot of skill that was put behind it. So you never really read much superhero comics. So what I'm guessing, like as a kid you read Asterix, because that seems to be one of the more popular ones that I know of. That's French.
yeah, Asterix and Tintin.
Hmm.
Yeah, like everyone, like every French people.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. But mostly because of parents. That's more something that they used to read when they were kids, and so they were like, "Oh, read that thing. I used to love it when I was a kid."
Hmm. Yeah, I used to I used to play with I used to collect like a lot of Bionicles as a kid. Do you remember those? Did you
Mm,
ever play with those?
I think.
Yeah, like they're like Lego, like
Yeah.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
but
course, of course.
they had I remember they had a monthly comic that they would release um
Whoa.
in like the early 2000s or whatever. And I think they stopped around 2009, maybe 2010. But I still have like a collection sitting somewhere in very like in protected film and everything, because I want to preserve them and keep them for a while. But they would, if you signed up for like this Lego club whatever monthly membership, you would get like a free little pass with every kit that you bought. Um, but they had these comics that they drew, and it wasn't just like silly, like, stupid drawings. Like, you could actually tell that people put a lot of skill into into drawing all this. And yeah, those are really the only comics that I kind of like regularly read. Like, I
Hmm.
loved Spider-Man as a kid, but it was more so like through the movies. I never really read like too many superhero comics because, like, I don't know about you, but for me, the thing that I never understood is, like, they would come out with new stories like every week, and I
Yeah.
can't keep track of all the heroes. I can't keep track of all the different storylines and who did what and this. Like, when I was a kid, I was maybe a little bit obsessed for a little bit, but as I grew an adult, I'm like, I don't care. I can't. I
Mm.
cannot be bothered to remember who killed who and who did what and who came back to life. Like, just all these different stories. I was like, I just can't. It's too much.
And it's all different stories and also all different art style and
Hmm.
artists. And I think that's what I don't like. It's like when I'm reading and I have the beginning of the story and the end of the story is not the same art style, and I don't know. It's it's weird.
Yeah, I want to have like a nice conclusion. I don't want it
Yeah.
to end and be like, "Oh, and then he came back to life, and then he'll come back next week with a new adventure." And I'm like, I just no, I want a finished story. That's all I want. That's literally that's
Yeah.
all I want. I just want a finished story just from beginning to end, and that's it. No more. And I don't want
Yeah.
to read through Wikipedia and know all the special character. Like, I just no, too much.
Yeah, and what I love about European comics is that it's most of the time it's one shot. So you just
Mhm.
buy one comics and you have the whole story. Um, of course, it's expensive, but I don't have to buy four, five, six, and more to get the whole story. And with comics, with the like superhero comics, most of the time they have a lot of issue.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just it's expensive. Like, now
Mm,
comics is like it's 15, maybe $20 for an issue, and like you collect them, and then sometimes the shops run out because then you have the people that they just buy them to sell them later, so they're not actually like reading them.
yeah.
Um, and yeah,
Plus, I don't have the space at home
yes, yeah, that too.
for
I just
everything.
yeah. Because, like, what do you do if, like, oh, like, the you bought the comic, and you weren't really a fan of the story, but in order to understand like the previous issue, you have to keep it so that you actually remember what it's about. And I couldn't
Yeah,
be bothered. That's why I read
exactly.
them. I read them all online now. I don't want to collect them.
Mm, yeah.
Speaking of comics, there's one that I'm going through right now. They release an issue every month. It's from this publisher called I think it's Image Comics. Um, Let me see if I can find, because I you might like it because of the art style. It's I've never seen anything like it before. Let me see if I can find it. Let me ask AI. I think it'll be easier to find. It's basically about a story where people live in a world where, if enough people believe an idea, then it becomes real. So
Oh,
the people that understand this truth about the world work in the government. So then um, they create certain events, or they stop certain events from happening because they know that if millions of people believe it, then it becomes true. So, like, something like the moon landing, it turns out that it was fake, but
hmm,
if they made enough people believe in it, so like they filmed it in a studio and they showed it to the world, and the moment that millions of people saw it, everyone believed that it was real, and then automatically they had a rocket on the moon. So it
yeah,
becomes real. They make lies into reality, and it's called the Department of Truth. It's still ongoing. They still haven't finished it, but the art style, I love how every single frame, every single page looks like a painting. They took like a lot of time, clearly, to
oh,
to make it, like a lot of different filters, a lot of different textures. I hate that I have to wait so long to read them, but I totally understand why, because every single page must take so long
Yeah,
to do, and all the
it's worth
different.
waiting.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. If you're looking for a new comic to read, I'd highly recommend it. It's called The Department of Truth, um, but it's very well done. I love the story, the dialogue, and just creatively, it looks amazing.
I added it to my list.
Yeah, like even a frame like this.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's a very
I
interesting
love
story.
it.
Especially if you love conspiracies.
Hmm.
Okay, so with comics, is this something that you think you would want to pursue, like um, once you finish school, that you would want to do it, or is it just like, I just want to try this while I'm in art school?
No, there is. This is this is a dream. I think. Like I want to do. I want to like. Yeah, I want to do comics all my life. At least for now, this is what I want to do right now. Maybe it will change. I'm still open to anything else. But yeah, for now, I really want to do comics.
And that's why, like, you made a piece like this. Then this was like kind of your attempt at it.
Uh, mm, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That was
and
the beginning.
I'm guessing, as you said, you don't necessarily want to do any like superhero comics. You would want to do more like independent stories like that.
Yeah, more like the thing we can, like the French and European comics.
Okay. And do you think that, because I don't know what the comic market looks like in France or Europe. Um is it, do you still have like major studios that are like pumping this kind of stuff out, or is it just more like small independent businesses just littered across Europe?
Um, there is both. Um, but yeah, it's like the situation, the comics situation in France, especially, is very difficult right now. Like we have for example, we have the. Did you say festival?
Festival? No, no.
Yeah. Um, how can you say festival properly?
Oh, like well, no, like we festival, yeah, like that is a word that we use. I don't know. I thought you asked if I said it.
Ah, no,
But
no, no,
no.
no.
Yeah. You can
So
say
we have
festival.
the
Yeah.
International Comics Festival
Mhm.
in Angoulême, uh, and because there was something wrong about all the organization and a lot of aggression stories
Mhm.
that gone wrong with the director and everything. A lot of bad story around it, so it get canceled this year
Mhm.
in 2026, and it's actually a big thing. Like this is for like it's like the Comic Con for French people. Like it's that big.
Mm. What did you say it was
So
called?
like
Or where is it located?
international Angoulême.
Angoulême.
A-N, yeah. No, Lem, Leme at the end. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find information on that. So it got shut down because some of the organizers, like there was some drama, some negative stories.
Yeah, they don't pay the artists. Yeah, it's
They don't pay the artists, like the people that have
yeah,
the booths that they set up to show off
yeah, yeah,
their work.
yeah. But the even the big studio don't pay the comics artists very well.
Oh wow. Yeah, it was scheduled for January 29th to February 1st, and it
Yeah,
was called off after public funds withdrew. There's some allegations of sexual assault, and then
yeah.
some boycott movements. Wow. Okay. So this festival has now been canceled. Are they? Is there like Are they going to replace it with something else, or is there just like nothing happening then?
For now, I don't know. I don't think so, but it's only the 2026 edition that have been cancelled, and I think they will try to find some new directors, organization to keep it because that's something that um, comics author want to keep. They still want to do this, but
Hmm.
not with that kind of organization and that kind of problem.
I see. And it says here that apparently, well, there's a union of alternative publishers, so that you guys actually have like a union for independent publishers of comics. Then,
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
we do have it, but I'm not that informed about it, so I will not be able to talk about it very much, at least precisely. But yeah, we do have this.
Wow. No, that's just really impressive because I mean, um, unions here in North America, they're more focused on like people that work in construction or people that work in the flight industry, the airplane industry, or
Mhm.
just more like manual, very like serious jobs. I don't really think we have a union for authors or writers or anything like that. So I mean, yeah, that's very impressive. But I mean, France has like had a very very long history of
Yeah,
of worker movements, so that doesn't like really surprise me. But compared to what we have in North America, yeah, that's very different.
yeah, we have a union for everything here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
interesting. I mean, oh, that's I guess that's just how you guys do it over there. I've just I've known like there's always every couple of months there's a protest about something.
yeah,
Lighting cars on fire and whatnot. And living in Paris, I'm sure you see a lot of that.
yeah. A lot of fire in the street.
Very interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, that's unfortunate that that there's all this controversy around it because yeah, I've heard very similar things about the comic industry in North America, and in general around the world when it comes to especially big companies. Like the most famous example is the like the Into the Spider Verse movie that the
Yeah.
animators and the artists they complained a lot that they were getting underpaid, they were getting forced to work more than they were actually getting paid for, um, and that getting the movie out was actually like it was a big struggle for them just because of
Mhm.
how like they structured the deadlines and all the different requirements that management and the owners of the studio had told them. um,
Yeah.
so I'm not too shocked to hear that there's this kind of controversy here. Um, I mean, even with Stan Lee, one of the most famous uh, comic artists that globally. There was a documentary recently that talked about his last years before his death, where mentally he was declining. He was not. I think he had some kind of form of dementia, so he like was
Yeah.
forgetting a lot, and his management was forcing him to go to all of these different conventions and to do all the autographs and the signing and to just make all these appearances. But you could tell just by looking at video of him at these places, like he didn't want to be there. He just felt like he was getting taken advantage of. And there's all this drama about now that he's dead, like who all the money goes to and his the rights to a lot of his work. So that doesn't surprise me that that there's all this controversy also in France with these festivals.
That's a crazy story.
Okay, so even knowing all that, you still would want to. That's still a dream of yours. You would still want to pursue it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when you're a kid and parents told you, don't do it," but you have to do it. You have to try it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm still attracted to it. Telling stories, drawing them. This is something that I really want to do.
Okay, interesting. So I know that there's some people they create like motion comics, so comics that move and have a little bit of animation. Do you know if you would want to do anything like that, or you're still focused on like doing like still comics like published on paper and all that?
No, I I want to publish on paper. Um, it will be interesting though to make animated comics, but for now I want to have this goal of publishing my book and uh, and yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, motion comics, they're not like it's not like super advanced animation. It's very basic with the frames. It just kind of gives them another life. You know, it just kind of makes it a little bit more
mm,
dynamic instead of like having to imagine these things with your brain that actually like shows it out. Um, but yeah, I'd imagine that's a lot harder to do, and not a lot of people make this kind of work. It's very rare to find these comics. I think Marvel is putting a lot of money into this department now, and they have a lot of like
yeah.
series that you can purchase, but it's not as common. So, okay, so you would want to do that, and you would want to work for specifically for French and European labels. You wouldn't want to like come over to like either North America or work on manga in Japan.
I mean, if I have the occasion to do all of this, it will be great. But for now, yeah, I'm focusing on French and European market.
Do you find that like a lot of your some of your classmates like have you found other people that also want to do that, or is that one of the more rare like art forms that people would go into as their choice?
In my art school, it's very, very rare. Um, I only have one friend who want to do this. Um, and yeah, but there is a lot of more. It's people that want to do comics are more like in animation school. Uh, those kind of school.
And animation, that's not something that you would want to do, because I've heard that it's extremely difficult, especially in school, to learn and to master. That a lot of people they end up just doing it independently instead.
Yeah, this is so hard to learn, so hard to do, and I don't know. I know that I will try it one day because I love watching animated movies and even anime. But yeah, for now, I don't have the time and the mind for this.
No, fair enough, fair enough. Um, and then in terms of the assignments that they give you guys in art school, what is it actually like? Because you mentioned that you know you don't have time in between all the work that you do. What is it that actually keeps you busy in school? Because you know, like there's that joke that like people make about people that study business. It's like, you know,
Hmm?
like what is your homework? You're I don't know, like adding numbers or subtracting them or whatever, or like finance majors, like what are you actually doing for your homework? Or like art majors, like oh, you're just like drawing stuff,
Hmm.
you know, like how busy could it actually be? But like what is it that they actually that keeps you busy in school? What is it that takes up so much of your time?
Um, for example, for the next 2 weeks, I have a character design to do
Mm-hmm.
uh, for um, uh, an event. I also have a magazine to do about it was 8 pages magazine for an exhibition. Plus, I need to make posters for this same exhibition. So you need to go see the exhibition. You need to take notes. You need to understand what the author want to say, and then you need to find a good idea, and you need to make it applicable on posters, but also on edition, on magazine, on everything, and
Mm-hmm.
that's yeah. It takes a lot of time to think about the idea, and yeah, that's what takes most of the time.
I see. So part of your assignment is to actually go to an exhibit, and then based on your experience and what you saw and all the different art that's there, to take that inspiration and to like make some kind of piece based on that, basically.
Yeah, not always, but yeah, sometimes.
Okay. And on that note, I would imagine that living in a city like Paris, there, there's not like galleries and cafes on every corner, but I'd imagine that there's a lot of independent galleries, not just the Louvre, but a lot of other, smaller galleries and exhibitions that you can go to. There's a lot of variety and choices when it comes to that, right?
Yeah, and this is so cool living in Paris and going to art school at the same time because yeah, there is so much things to see and it's frustrating to not be able to see everything.
Like too much. There's just too much to see, not enough time
Yeah,
in the day.
yeah. There's never too much, but yeah, there is too much.
I see. Okay. And now I know the Louvre is obviously like world famous, world renowned, and all that. But I would imagine that um, having lived there, it's still like very magnificent and beautiful. But you've probably I would imagine like been there like maybe 10, maybe like a dozen times. And at this point, it's just like, oh, okay, well that's just the Louvre. Like it's just there. Like there's not really anything all that special about it. Do you find that's true?
I've never been to the Louvre.
Never? You've never been to it?
Never, never. Uh, I don't know, so much people in it, and it's you know when you know all the little galleries, all the independent exhibition that you can go to, and you can where there is literally nobody, so you're kind of alone, and that's also a mood to be alone in an exhibition. Le Louvre, there is just too much people, and I know that because everything remains the same in it, like,
Mhm.
and it will be like that forever. I have all my life to go to it. But independent exhibition are like 2 weeks long,
Mhm.
maybe a month long. So it's a very short time to go and see them. So that's why I've never been to it, but
I
I
feel
would
the
love to.
same. I feel the same. I don't like going to festivals or to like big galleries where there's like just all these like people, kids running around, all this
Yeah,
like just noise all the time. I would ideally want to go where there's like fewer people so I can actually stand and enjoy the work, or maybe if the exhibit isn't like so popular, maybe the artist is there, so I can actually ask them like some questions about their
yeah,
work and speak to them. I find that that's a lot more rewarding, a lot more interesting of an experience. So I get what you mean, because I've seen photos of like people that go to see the Mona Lisa, and I don't think that even if I had the chance to visit Paris that I would go, because it's like it's so far away. It's behind all this glass. Everyone
yeah.
there is lined up to see it. Everyone from around the world is there, and it's like I look, a magnificent piece, infamous. Must have taken a lot of work, but like, realistically, is it worth it to just, like, stand there and be, like, elbows up all the time with all these people
For
around you, all
real.
these tourists, like, people trying to get pictures of it?
But they only
It's
want
too
the
much noise.
pictures. They don't want to look at it. They only want to
Yes.
say, "Hey, I went to see Mona Lisa."
Mhm.
And yeah, I feel like in the Louvre, I will not be able to appreciate everything because of how much people there is.
Yeah, it becomes like an achievement, like a stamp instead of,
Yeah,
an experience.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. In Toronto, we're kind of the same way. Like we have a major gallery, the Art Gallery of Ontario, that hosts like the big exhibitions, and they have a lot of space. And if you go like during the week, maybe like a school of kids is there for a field trip. but realistically, like if you go anytime before like 3 or 4 p.m., it's very
Mm.
quiet. There's barely anyone there, so that's like a great time to visit. But on the weekends, yeah, like it fills up, or if they have like a special exhibition, there's always tons of people there. Um, but in Toronto, we also have like a lot of really, really, really small galleries that have all these different independent artists, or sometimes they even have big artists. Like I remember, I think a year ago there was a small gallery in downtown that was actually showing some Andy Warhol pieces, and it wasn't like a
Oh,
big like major exhibition. It wasn't on the news or anything, so you had to like really know where to go for it. But they were still like showcasing the pieces, and unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to go. But I much prefer those like smaller environments for that.
yeah, I agree.
Very cool. And um, do you guys have a lot of festivals that are like art festivals out on the streets as well, or is it just more so focused on the galleries inside?
We do have art festivals, but mm, I feel like it's mostly outside of Paris. Like we have a lot of music festival, for example, in
Hmm.
Paris. But when you talk about art, like painting and stuff, it's mostly I feel like it's mostly out of Paris. Like even in Paris, it's mostly exhibition and galleries, and yeah.
I see. And in terms of your fellow students in the art school, do you find that that a lot of people decide to focus on one discipline over the other? Because at least from my understanding, when I've spoken to other artists that have gone to art schools in other places in the world, um, there's obviously not a lot of focus on like traditional oil painting. Those people still exist and those techniques still exist, and there's people that will study that, but um, there's not really like a lot of people, or the majority of people that go into working on something like that. A lot of the focus now I find is on digital art, or even something like 3D design. Um, uh, the, there just doesn't seem to be as much of a focus on like learning how to make your own canvas, or working with oil paints and all that. There's still people that do it, but it's not nearly as much. Do you find in your school that people are going into one discipline like for the majority of your classes, or?
Um, yeah, there is people that want to do that know what they want to what they want to do. But no, there is one girl I think that is making all painting and everything, but that's it. Everyone, sorry, is on their computer or iPad making arts, drawing. Uh, the first 2 years, the, the I don't know how to say, the technology was
Mm-hmm.
forbidden. Like no computer, no iPad, no digital art. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
only on paper, and I think it's very important to start by that, by the fundamental, like the basics,
Mm-hmm.
and with that you can get good on digital. But yeah, now that we have access to it, like that we are able to like to draw on iPad or on computer. Everyone is making, but because that's new for us also.
Okay, so you find a lot of your students, the focus is on learning how to work with digital art. That like
Yeah,
the majority of people, that's what they study.
yeah, exactly.
I see. So in your program, do they actually teach you how to work with the software as well? Like they'll walk you through like all the different tablets that you can work on, all the different like styles of brushes and all that you can use.
Yeah, different softwares like yeah, like Photoshop and everything. Yeah, yeah, there are. It's good for that because we can. we are learning a lot of things about digital art, and because that's what I want to do, uh, it's cool.
I see. So, what is the what is it like the traditional path when people finish, like the art school that you go to? Are people able to get like apprenticeships, like working for different studios or even internships, in different, whether it's galleries or companies, and because you said it's not just about the art world. Some of it goes into marketing. Some people go into
Mm.
like more professional and commercial settings. Is there like any instruction or anything that they help you with in that regard? Like, do they tell you like, okay, we're gonna take a class to help you prepare, how to prepare a portfolio or how to go through the application process? Do you have anything like that?
We don't have class for that, but um, because our teachers are people that are working in the industry, in the art industry, like we can still go and ask question to them about making a portfolio, about anything, literally. Um, so yeah, we don't have that kind of classes, but we can still ask them questions.
Hmm. Yeah, because that's very important. One of the things that I didn't like about my time in university is there wasn't a lot of focus given to us in terms of like finding a career or how to get a job in the field. In fact, a lot of people would joke like about my degree that like this is the choice that you make if you don't want to make any money, if you want to be poor. Um,
Mm,
and as a student, I got offended because I was like, okay, what? I'm paying all this money to go to school. Why are we laughing? I want a job.
yeah,
Like I want I want to graduate and be able to work. Like why is this even a joke? I don't understand. So what, I'm supposed to get a PhD and then teach other people so that they can also go into debt and then teach other people so that like it's just this vicious cycle. Like, okay, well, at what point do we make money? At what point can I
yeah,
make enough money to buy a house? Like what are we talking about here? Um but no, that's cool that you mentioned that your teachers are also people that are in the industry and they're not just instructors.
yeah,
Because I've heard from other people in different other art schools where um, sometimes there's a disconnect between the professors because they don't actually know how the world works. Like maybe they've just been teaching all their life, but they don't really have a lot of experience, like actually working for other companies or independent studios, and that it's not really useful for them. But that's really good that you actually have people that they've invested their life into it, so they understand the process. They know how much work it takes to actually get a job, and then they can teach you like that.
yeah. That's one of the positive points of my school.
And so, are there a lot of these schools? Because I know that um, it's one thing to tell your parents that you want to be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer. A lot of parents would be like the stereotype, at least in some Asian cultures, is that they would be proud of that, right? But
Yeah.
telling your parents that you want to go into art school, that's very hard to convince some parents for that. Uh, do you find that really wasn't all that difficult to do? Like, do you find that like in your culture that's not really much of a problem?
Um, like mm, I don't know. In my case, uh, um, how can I say it? Like, um, my mom at first uh, didn't want me to go to art school, but she saw that I didn't want to do anything else, and that I wanted to dedicate my life into arts. So she said yes, but it wasn't that difficult to convince her. But at first she clearly didn't wanted that. But also because, as I already say, we are French and Algerian, and I feel
Hmm.
like in Algeria, like in all those African countries, the only like you, y- like the only work your parents wants yeah, your parents wants you to be a doctor, or
Hmm.
like big work that get paid well. Um, so I think my mom was like that at first, also because my sister wanted to be a doctor. Um,
Oh, oh, so
yeah,
yeah,
so you have your sister wanted to be a
yeah.
doctor, and you want to study art. Like,
Hmm.
what the fuck? But yeah,
I see. I see. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I know some of my like my high school classmates that went into art school, but it wasn't really like much of a popular choice. There's maybe like three or four of them that actually went into that program. Most people,
yeah,
went
same.
into business or becoming a doctor or lawyer, maybe even
Hmm.
car mechanic. Um, and even now in Toronto where I live, I think there's really only one major art school. There might be some more private ones that I don't know about, but there's only one like actual college of art um, in the city. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure they might have one like one in every major city here in Canada, but it's not really as big of a um, as popular of a degree for people to go into. I think that a lot more people focus on doing it independently more than they do through school.
Yeah. No, in France, we have a lot of art schools, so I think there is more people that go into art school than going independent.
I see. I see. So, now that you're in your third year, so you're almost done. You got 2.5 more years to go.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any idea on like which company or which publisher that you would want to work with specifically, or is that just going to come down the line, later on?
I think it will come down to line. Like especially in comics, when you were starting, you're just sending your project to anyone, everyone, like
Hmm.
literally, and you take what come first, So I'm sending
Hmm.
it to everyone, and then when I don't know which company will just say, okay, yes, I will sign you, and I will make your dream come true, and I will just say yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think I will have the privilege to choose, at least at first. At first.
Well, I mean, that's one of the benefits of being young. You have a lot of time
Yeah.
to give to these kind of places, and that's just what you do. Working for low money, long hours, but if you're lucky enough, you might get put in a place where you get a lot of experience, and then eventually later on, you're able to actually pick like a good company or a good publisher to work with because you have all that experience.
Yeah.
Okay. And tuition for you guys. Now, I know you said you go to a private university, but from what I've heard, a lot of colleges and universities in Europe that are at least part of the European Union, uh, a lot of the tuition is free for the most part.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Yes, honestly, yes. But in arts, it's very, very, very hard to go to a public school because everyone wants to go to those public school. But like in Paris, only have three, I think. So everyone is just paying to go to school instead because there is too much people.
I see. How much do you pay for tuition, if you don't mind me asking?
That's uh, thir um, 13,000.
13,000 or 1,300
Well, 13,000. No, 13,000. Like
euros?
13, yeah, euros. Yeah, plus 30. Yeah,
Wow. For like a year or for the whole program?
or a year. Yeah,
13,000 euros for a year.
yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit, what the
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
insane. Wow. 13,000. Wow.
But
That's
I took a
crazy.
loan for that because I cannot afford that at all, like
Of course.
literally. So I took a loan, and I'll just need to when I will finish school, I'll just need to I don't know, pay it back. Yeah, the states, the
So,
government.
so when you're all said and done, I mean, you're gonna have what is that like almost 60,000 euros for the entire program for the 5 years?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I will have to pay back the next 10 years after I finish school.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't think it would be so expensive. I mean, here in Canada, um, the university that I went to, it was maybe I think it was 7,000 for the year, which to euros would be yeah about 4,300.
Mm.
And my degree took me about 5 years or so. So I have about yeah, it's about 40,000. So yeah, 20. Wow. So my entire degree cost you basically just over like 1 year. Wow. I didn't think it would
Mm.
be that expensive. Why is it that expensive? Do they provide a lot of like the tools for you as well? Like do they give you an iPad on day one? Like
No, no, they give you nothing, literally.
wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I don't
And
know why it's so expensive. Honestly, I don't even understand.
is that because like the instructors are so amazing and like you guys get to go like on field trips or whatever? Like what is the how do they justify that?
Like the instructors are good, but not 13,000 good. Like it's very. I found it very very expensive just for art school.
Wow.
Like I feel like I can do so much other things with all of this money, but yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy because I mean the CEO of the company of Outsider Supply, she went to the Chicago Institute of Art, and
Hmm.
I mean in the U.S. in general, they have very 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 high costs for university because well, I mean I guess because they can charge that amount, but even for like the Chicago school, their tuition I think is actually even higher than yours, and that's like an art school as well. Um,
Yeah.
which is insane because then it just makes me think like, oh, okay, so then it's just the kids of rich parents that go to these schools. I mean, the average everyday working person that wants to be an artist can't possibly afford something like this unless they have a scholarship. So it's only
Yeah.
reserved for people that either qualify for a loan or people that have very rich parents. Do you find that a lot that you have a lot of like kids of rich parents in the school, or is it just average everyday working people like yourself?
No, there is mostly rich kids, like
Mm.
kids. Yeah, like I think in my class, like in my yeah in my year, we are only I don't know maybe two or three with a loan,
Wow. In your
and
whole in your whole year, in the whole grade.
yeah, yeah. So that's mostly rich kids. Yeah.
Interesting. And do you also have like a lot of I would assume a lot of the rich kids, are they international students, or is it still people that are French or were born in France or like
No,
are
it's
European?
it's uh it's only French people. Like last year we do have one girl that came from Spain, but
Hmm.
that's it. And she stayed 1 year.
Oh, so she did like an exchange.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
I see. Okay. Okay. Do you think that you would want to try an exchange program? Because I mean, I don't know how that would work for art school. Because usually exchange programs like they do something like that in high school. Like I remember we had some. I don't remember if it was Norway or Finland, but in one of those Icelandic countries, like we had a grade come in for like maybe a week or something. But it's not like the traditional thing where you spend like maybe 2 or 3 months or like half a semester. You actually living in the house of the family of the kid that you're switching places with. Would you ever want to do like an exchange like that?
Yes, and I know that we do that. Yeah, we do have something like that in fourth year, in year fourth. But you you can make an exchange only if you have a good ranking.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like if you're first, you can choose because the school propose like I don't know maybe 10 schools all over the world. From I know that they have a school in Korea, in Japan, and also in
Mm.
Brazil. And if you're first in the ranking, you can choose whatever school you want, and then if you're second, yeah, you get the idea. Like if you're first, you can choose
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want, but if you last, there is no place anymore. So yeah.
Wait, so when you say ranking, because I know that you guys must have, a grade system, whether it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, or like out of 100 or whatever.
Personally, 0 to 7.
Yeah. So for you guys, so you actually have like there's a leaderboard, like there's a ranking that all the students, like you can see who's number one and number two in the classes based on the
Yeah,
grades.
yeah. At the end of each of every semester.
Are you serious? Like a high
Yeah,
score, like in a
yeah,
video game, like it tells you who's like number
yeah,
one
yeah.
and two.
You can see the grades
What?
of everyone, literally everyone, and you can see who's first, who's last.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Because like you could compare. Wow, what? I
yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
even. I've never heard of that.
I don't like it, but it's specific to my school because I don't heard such things from other art school.
Okay, so is it fair to say that your school is then like very competitive? Because I would imagine that like you walk by in the hallway and you see your ranking and you're like, fuck, like Pierre is beating me out. Like I can't let him beat me. Like I got to do better than him. Is it like, do you feel like that it creates that kind of environment then? Because I've never like I would understand in maybe like business and finance, something
Yeah,
that's like very competitive, very cutthroat, very aggressive like that. Maybe that would help the students like motivate each other and themselves to be better than the next person, because the world of finance is kind of like that. Whoever has the extra zero is like that's the person that won the deal, or is better in business and whatnot. Whoever has the most money, like there's a number value that you can
yeah,
place beside your name that will actually show how important you are. But in something like art, I wouldn't expect a school to create that kind of a system where you can actually like not only know your score, but then see the scores of your classmates at any point,
yeah.
at any point in time.
But no, everyone is very friendly. In my year, we are kind of like a big family. So, but it's very. I feel like it's very specific to my year. At least that's what the teacher are
Hmm.
saying. But of course, there is people that only see the ranking and want to beat everyone and are not friendly at all, of course. But yeah, most of the people are very friendly and don't really pay attention to the ranking. They only want to do their own stuffs and they want to do good. And if you're better, then that's good for you. Of course, like personally, um, when I see someone's doing a better job, uh, it it elevate me. I don't know how to say it, but
Hmm. It
I want to
inspires
get
you.
better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, and I want to get better, but I'm not being aggressive, and I don't wish him bad things or anything.
Hmm.
I just want to get good. That's it. And most of people are thinking like that.
I mean that's good, because that's ideally that's the kind of environment that you would want to have, because art is it's not, even though like there's a market for it and there's a dollar value that you can put on a piece of art. I understand that. I'm not I understand that's the world that we live in, but realistically, Um, that's not it's not something that you can put on the creative process. You can't say that Andy Warhol is number one, or Leonardo da Vinci is number
Yeah,
one, or that Salvador Dali is number one, or any of these artists or styles or whatever is number one. It's very subjective. So to
yeah,
hear that you have a ranking system like that in school, I'm very confused by it because I don't understand what the benefit or what the purpose of that is. Because, as you said, like, okay, so it gives you some more benefits so you can choose, like, um, where you go in the world if you want to do an exchange. It allows you for that kind of opportunity. But if someone is lower in the rankings, maybe because they didn't hand in an assignment on time, or they didn't give the professor what they wanted. Um, that doesn't mean that they wouldn't benefit from doing an exchange program or from having the benefits of being like number one. So
yeah,
it's just that's a very strange system. I've never heard of something like that in university.
yeah.
Like
Me
maybe in
too.
high school, like when people would try out for the theater, for like Shakespeare or Romeo and Juliet or something like that.
Mm,
At the end of the tryout, obviously they have to make their choice, and who is going to be the lead, who's going to be the supporting actor, who's going to play Romeo, who's going to play Juliet. Like there's a ranking there, or for the sports team, who actually made the team, like they would rank people like that. That I understand. That makes sense. But for
yeah,
something like art school, especially a private art school where you're paying all this money, um, that's totally unexpected. I did not think that was a real thing. That's crazy.
yeah. Plus, if your grades are below fourth, so from 0 to 7, if your
Hmm.
grades are below fourth, you get fired. I don't know how to say it.
You get kicked out
Yeah, kicked out. Yes.
if you're great. So seven being the highest,
Yeah,
and four is like, okay, so that's like 50%. That's considered 50% basically.
yeah, yeah.
You guys don't do like 3.5 or like 4.2
Now we do
or
3.5, but
oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, okay. But if you finish the semester, if you finish the year, and the average of all your
yeah,
grades is
is below
below a
fourth.
4, then you automatic, like, no second chance, nothing. Like they kick you out of the school.
Yeah. Yeah, there is people that get a second chance. Like if you have, I don't know, 0.10, if you are 0.10 below, maybe they
Hmm.
will give you that second chance. But yeah, most of the time you just get kicked out.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is interesting because we kind of have that here too because like it's called academic probation. So that's when your average in multiple classes is below 50%, because our goes from 0 to 100%. That's how the grading is in the university. If your average is below, I think, either 50 or 55 for like maybe 3 or 4 classes for the year, you go on academic probation, where if your average does not change within like a semester or two, then they basically tell you, like, look, uh, you either have to take less classes, or you have to do like some kind of like final exam. Like they'll figure out a way
yeah,
for you um, to get that grade back up. Because obviously, it benefits the university to have more people enrolled, because then they pay more money, more tuition, and all that.
of course.
But at a certain point, they will not let you go to school if you just keep failing through your classes. Um, but for something like art school, wow! So they will literally just kick you out of the program, because the
Yeah,
reason that I find that weird is because, let's say you're in your third or fourth year and you dip below that level. Let's say you get like a 3.5 at the end of the year. Um, if that student is kicked out, it's not like they can just find somebody to then take their place in the fourth year or the fifth year, because they've already gone through the program. So now it's just you have one less person going to the classes, and that's it. That's just an empty spot. Nobody can. It's like they can't just like fill that spot with somebody.
uh, no, they can't. But I think that they just get one more people in first year.
Oh, so they would
Yeah,
like skip a year basically to like to. to go to like the third or fourth year program in
Oh,
that
no, no,
class?
no. But I mean, in term of because you were talking in term of money.
Well, I mean, like, let's say like you're in your third or fourth year and you get kicked out,
Yeah,
and you have like one more year to do before you graduate. Um, like, then there's one less person in the classes, so it's not like they can have somebody that just applied to the school that can then take that spot because those classes are meant for the fourth year students or the fifth year
yeah.
students.
No, they don't care. But
Wow.
we do have people that come from other art school. Like I know that this year there is two guys that started by the third year because they went on an art school before, but they
Mm,
are older. They are like 26, 27. So maybe they this is their solution to it.
mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's very weird. I've never heard of a school do that kind of ranking because that
and
that
I
that
don't
could
like it.
well, yeah, but of course, any person that is like creative or wants to go into art, like, of course they would hate that because that's a very rigid, very I don't know. It's like anti art. It's anti
Yeah,
creative to
it's
put
not even working like that in
yeah.
the real world.
No, of course
Like,
not. That yeah.
so I don't get the point. But yeah, it's like that, and I can't do anything about it.
I mean, a lot of the art that is extremely popular, it's shit. Like it is like
Yeah,
a lot of art that's made to be consumed by millions of people, like like whether it's Disney or whatever, like any of these big companies, it sometimes ends up being shit because they're trying to just get as many people to pay for it, to go to the movie, to buy the game or whatever, and still they make millions of dollars, even though like it's shit. Like how many video games over the last few years, all these studios putting in hundreds of millions of dollars into these games, and then they end up just being shit, or they shut down the servers maybe a month after.
yeah,
Um, Even though like if you look at like the company rankings, they're like in the top 10, top 20, whatever. Like they have a very good ranking and they have a very long history, but they're still shit. Like that's not how the world, like as you said, it's not how the world works at all. There's no ranking
mm.
like that in the world. Like just because you're number one or you're the most popular, that doesn't mean your art is actually good. That doesn't mean that you're the best creative.
Plus, if you're last in the ranking, it doesn't mean you are bad. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
and that will you will not succeed later. So
yeah, you would think with Europe, um with the infamous Austrian painter that got kicked out of art school that they wouldn't want to do that, but
yeah.
but I guess okay, all right, that's how you guys want to do that. That's yeah,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. I've never heard of such a thing. I'm gonna be thinking about that for the rest of my day because I just that's insane for a private school like that. I guess that have they always done this? Is this something new?
No, no. For my school, it's like that from the start.
Wow.
Yeah, and in France and in Paris mostly, the school is famous for this. And art
Hmm.
school and people that are working in the art industry don't really like that school.
Oh, okay, so it has that reputation.
Yeah, but they know that the people that that finish that school are very good. That they recognize their talent and everything,
Hmm.
but they will not recommend that school because of how it is and how intense it is and um, how it can get to your moral, yeah, to your
Hmm.
not moral. How do you
Morale.
say it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
your self-esteem,
yeah,
your sense of
exactly.
well-being. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Okay, so all of that you must have known about this before you applied to the school. If it has
No.
this kind of oh, you didn't? You had no idea?
No, no, no. I knew there was a ranking, but
Mhm.
For me, it was like in high school, like oh, of course you have a ranking, but nobody is paying attention to it, and it's not even important. But not exactly.
Hmm. So even in your high school, like even you guys had that kind of ranking system where you could see people's grades.
In high school, yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
but in high school, it's for everyone. Like every high school in France have that ranking system.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I mean here it's like, if you got your test back and you're sitting beside someone, and they're your friend, like yeah, you just tell them like, "Oh man, I got a 65 or a 75 or an 80 or a 90 or, whatever." And it's something that you have between friends, but there's not really like there's no leaderboard. I can't go to some place in the school that has like the ranking put up for,
Yeah,
which students are first and last. I would be Oh my god, I would be so embarrassed to have my grades like that. I mean, my grades weren't like awful, but they weren't the greatest. I was just like maybe average or just above in school. Um, but that would just make me feel like very like ashamed
yeah,
if I was not good.
totally.
I guess that's why they have that system so that maybe it for the students that want to succeed, they can use that shame to kind of to be better and to do better. But that's very interesting. Yeah, I'd never heard about that in the French education system. I didn't realize that you guys had that as a normal thing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
the school system in France is very old, and honestly, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of people, it needs to change.
Well,
It's
of course. You
yeah,
guys
there is.
initially created it after the Industrial Revolution. You guys actually,
Mm,
well, Europe as a continent, you created the education system that now exists all over the world.
yeah, but it in France it didn't evolve at all. Like we feel like it's the same thing. It's been the same thing for years and years, and yeah, they try to do things like government, the state is trying to
Mhm.
do things, but it's it's not working, at least for now.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing here in Canada, unfortunately. I actually my initial degree is I wanted to be a teacher because of how much I
Mm,
loved well, at least like some of my teachers I had some great experiences with. But then after I spent some time in university and I realized like just how hard it was to change the system, and I didn't want to be a part of it. I couldn't put my whole life into it as much as I would love to. I had I was very lucky to have some very good teachers where I went to school. Um, but even then, like I just saw all the negative things, and I was like, I don't want any part of that. I couldn't bear to be a teacher and to be stuck in that because you don't have any
yeah.
control. You can't change how you grade your students. You can't really change
Hmm.
the curriculum. Your department would decide that, and then the department gets its orders from the government, and it's just changing all of that is it's very difficult. But yeah, we see the same problems here in North America because the system has they haven't even adapted. Like AI became a thing that now students use, and there was no preparation. Nobody knew. It just like the next day it happened, and then all the students started using it to cheat in class, and all the teachers were like, "We don't know what to do. How do we adapt to this? How do we change to this?" And you know, what are they going to do now? Interesting. So on that note, actually, do you find that is there anybody is there any examples that you've seen of students using AI art in their work?
Yeah, yeah. Mm, my school is making. I don't know if I can say it like this, but my school is making a turn. Like, uh, how can I say this?
A
Like
transformation?
yeah, a transformation, and the director is uh whoa. Let me just
Say it in French if you have to. My French is a little shitty, but maybe I can understand.
um I don't even know how to say it in in French, but um wait. I'm just translating.
Yeah, take your
Yeah,
time. Take your time.
just yeah, just the school they want to do AI now. I will
Mm-hmm.
keep it simple. um, and they encourage us
Mm-hmm.
uh, to uh, to use it in different subjects, and I feel like a lot of people in my class don't think about it. They just because the teachers are saying yes, we can, you can do it, so they do it without even thinking about it, without even thinking about the fact that it's ruining jobs and ruining the planet and everything. And so yeah, and the school is like is just telling us, yeah, you can do it, go do it, do it, do it, because they think that this is the future, and maybe they are right, and maybe they are wrong. I don't know, but in my opinion, we are in arts in our school to learn arts, and with AI, you can learn anything.
So the instructors, they're encouraging the students to use AI art in their work. But
Some of them, yes.
okay, but I would assume that, like, let's say I have an assignment, I have to go to an exhibit and you know understand the style, what the idea was, and then make something of my own, whether it's a poster or whatever, like you mentioned previously. But like they're not allowed to like fully hand in an assignment that's 100% AI, right? Like the
Yes, yes,
students
they
would
can.
they can.
Yeah, they can, and that's terrible. And there is a lot of uh, a little revolution about it in the school, and it's also specific to our year because we are in that AI. Uh, it's very new, so this is the first time that the school has um, to 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 fight with the students because of this.
Yeah.
And there is the students that don't care at all, most of the students actually, and that use AI for their work. Um, and yeah, and also if honestly, I don't care about the grades, but
Hmm.
if we are talking about grades, um, the people, the students that are making art with AI and the people that are making art with their own hand, with, with their own on their own,
Hmm.
are grading the grade system is the same for both of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. And look, I'm sorry that I'm focusing so much on like our art school in our conversation, but like some of
No,
these,
that's
this is insane. Sweet. So okay, so I have a question for you then. If I wanted to, right, from your understanding and your experience in the school in the years that you've been there, is it possible for a student to go from, if we ignore the first year where you have to do everything manually, if they, let's say they pass that, is it possible for a student to use AI art for every single assignment and still graduate and be able to pass the school that you go to? Do you think that would be possible?
no, no, because uh, let's say that you passed first year
Mm-hmm.
without using it. There is still teachers, at least now, that are that don't want to deal anything with AI. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want it in their class. So no, and I hope it will stay like that. But yeah,
Okay, so there's a couple of instructors or a couple of classes where you can take that the teachers actually encourage this and allow their students to use it, but it's not like the whole program, it's not the whole school.
no, I will say it's 50-50, maybe.
50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. Yeah, like more
Wow.
40-60.
But that
Yeah,
is that is still that is still insane.
that's too much.
I
Yeah.
assumed, yeah, I assumed that they would not. It's not that they would ban it or that they wouldn't allow it, because that's just, this is the world that we live in. This is the next technology, and whatever disagreements that people may have about it, It's a tool, and to be familiar with it it could potentially be useful, down the line and years down the line. It's better to know how to use it and not use it than to not
Hmm.
know how to use it and then one day have to actually use that tool. Um, but there are
Yeah,
actually
but
like some
only as a
teachers.
tool.
Yes, exactly. Not as a like fully 0 to 100%. Like this is the final project. Let me just type a prompt, and then here is the final product. Instead of using it as like inspiration or to get some visual reference or to better understand an art style or just to have that kind of thing. Um, that's crazy. I did not think that, because so you're paying 20,000 euros for every single year, and you have this ranking which affects if you can go to the school or have certain opportunities. And there's some people that are able to do that by using AI. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it
That's
is.
cheating.
Yes, yes, completely. And that's why people like me in school are just very angry about it and are I don't know, upset. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I would be too. I'd be pissed. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I'm
pissed.
I'm
Exactly,
I-
pissed.
I'm paying all this money. I'm taking all this time to create myself as an artist. I'm dedicating my life to this, and then the person next to me gets to have the same grade, the same opportunities, maybe even better by using AI. What the fuck? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's also that because AI is new and it's will probably be our future. It's weird to think about the fact that the person who is sitting right next to me right now is going to steal my job later. But it's not even like doing the same job as me is literally
Hmm.
stealing my job.
Wow. I did not. Because every artist I interview, I like to get their opinion on AI art, because every single artist has their own unique take on it. Um, but I've never spoken to someone. This is the first time I'm speaking to someone where in the real world that these people are actually being rewarded. Because it's one thing to
Yeah,
have like a Twitter account, or maybe you go to a festival and you have a booth where you can sell your AI generated art. Like, fine, whatever. Everyone is free to spend their money or their time doing whatever they want. That's you have your own personal freedom. If you don't like the art, okay, then just don't look at it, or don't buy it, or don't give it attention.
exactly.
But the fact that a school is actually rewarding students for using it like that, and then they're going out into the real world and getting opportunities, even though they used AI art. Wow, that's insane. I did not think that it was going to be that bad.
Yeah.
Um, because I have mixed opinions about it. I think it's a very good tool for inspiration or for doing basic research. But at the end of the day, whatever you're doing, whether it's writing or drawing or whatever, um, you're always better off just having that as inspiration or as a beginning, like the first step, and then actually
Hmm.
doing the work yourself, um, and actually making something. Because when AI first became popular, I like the image generation. I played around with it a little bit here and there, but I never really like went deep into it, because I was just like, oh well, this is I can create a masterpiece in like 5 seconds. It felt cheap. I didn't
Yeah,
feel a sense of I didn't learn anything. I didn't feel like I accomplished anything. I don't. I'm not a fan of doing stuff like that. Um, so the fact that's happening in your art school, that's crazy. I can't believe that they even allowed it. I'm not surprised that you guys have, as you said, like a revolution on it, because as you should, absolutely, the students should
yeah,
protest. Like, this is crazy.
yeah. We are trying, but yeah, it's very difficult. But
Interesting.
we should
Uh,
we I know we are the guys that are paying the school, so we should have we should have a word to it. No, that's terrible.
no, no, no. You should
uh,
you should have a say. You should have
yeah,
an
yeah,
an influence on
yeah.
on
Of course,
on
an
on what
influence
on
exactly.
what is allowed. On You should have a vote on
Yeah,
something like this, because this completely changes, the motivations of students. This completely changes the incentives. This completely changes how they go about their work. This completely takes,
everything. Yeah,
yeah, that whole ranking system. You might as well throw that in the garbage now. That means like it already meant very little, but now it means even less. If you can get
yeah,
away with AI art, that's useless. That's not the point. Like that is,
yeah.
wow. I hope you guys do revolt. Yeah, I absolutely hope that you guys burn some canvases or something, because that's ridiculous. That is insane. I can't believe that they not only allow it, but they encourage it.
Mm,
That's if I was, like a headmaster of that kind of a school, I would want my students to be able to know how to use the tool, because I want them to be set up for the future, because that is going to be the future. But that's where
yeah,
it would stop. Like I wouldn't want to allow my students to fully like dive into it and be able to do that. If you want to do that on your own time, fine. But you're not paying me $20,000 a year so that I can allow you to get a grade. I mean,
exactly.
that's like going to university for like a psychology degree or something, or an English or like literature degree, and have an AI write books for you. Like what the like what are we doing?
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. I really hope you guys do get together and create some kind of a united force against this, because that is absolutely ridiculous. That's a scandal. That's
Mm,
insane.
yes. Can we do
Okay.
like a 20-second break so I can go for water?
Yeah. Yeah. Not a problem. Not a problem. We'll
Yeah.
we'll, we'll be right back, guys.
Okay. Thank you. What the fuck? 2 hours already?
Right? Yeah.
But
It
this is
goes.
so interesting. I
Yeah.
was
It goes
scared at
goes by
first,
quick.
like yeah. But my sorry for my terrible English.
You're fine. Trust me. You're fine. I get it. English isn't my first language either, even though it sounds like it. I totally understand. But we
Oh,
we
what's your first language?
it's Russian.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I came here when I was very young. So
oh,
my
that's why.
accent is completely gone. But yeah, no, these interviews, they go by fast. Like it's just it's like that. I always, like, at the
Yeah.
beginning of the interview, I always think like, oh man, what if I don't have enough things to talk about? But it's always like by the like hour, an hour and a half in, I'm like, oh, okay, we're good, we're fine. Okay, so yeah, that's yeah, on the topic of AI art in school, that's yeah, that's very interesting. I'd never heard of something like that, and no, I do hope. I know I said it before, but I really do hope that you guys force the professors to do something about it, because I'm sure that some of the professors would also share your opinions on this, um, because
Some of them
absolutely
do.
is cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're talking a lot to the professors that think like us, and they are also trying to change all these things because they will be impacted too because they are
hmm
working in the art industry, so they are fighting against it. But because this is new, because this is AI, and because this is the future, probably, unfortunately, you can't really do something. And
yeah,
unfortunately, it's yeah, it's just being more and more common in art school, in all the other art school.
yeah. I think it's I think the reason that it's becoming just more popular, we're in that time now, because we're the first few generations of people that are dealing with something like this. There's never been, something like AI art before, and
Mm,
because there's no rules, there's no, like, not a lot of regulations. People are figuring this out, as with every single day. There's some new development, some new technology, something new.
yeah,
So because we're like among the first to experience this, we are kind of setting the rules and setting the regulations, and even just like the cultural ideas around it for the next generations to use and to evolve on. And this is it always goes like this with every new technology, whether it's computers or
yeah,
digital cameras. or any kind of tool that makes a job easier. So I'm looking forward to see what happens in the next couple of years as we deal with this, but um, I know that there's going to be jobs that are taken away by automation and by AI art for sure, but I think that the positive side is that it automatically puts a premium. It puts an additional value on something that is actually man-made. If someone can prove that it wasn't generated, that it wasn't assisted with AI, it automatically makes it more valuable. You know, like every
Yes.
image that existed on the internet before, so what, like ChatGPT, the first models, I think they came out in, I think just like in mid COVID, something like that. And the first AI image models, so we'll say like 2020, 2021. I think that automatically before that time, every image that's ever been made throughout human history is automatically more valuable. You know, in the same
Mm,
way how before digital cameras, every image that was made on film cameras before that year um, is automatically more valuable because you can prove like that technology didn't exist. Nobody had access to it. There's a little bit more significance with it. There's a little bit more value. And even like if we're talking about the years before AI, like sure, okay, we had Photoshop and all these different image editing software, but there's still like a manual element to it. There's still somebody that had to, you know, put on the filters or use this brush or airbrush or whatever. It was still man-made. There wasn't like it wasn't fully 100% AI.
yeah.
So even though it is like a problem that people are dealing with, you know, as you said in your school, um, I think that automatically anybody that can prove that their work was made by people, it becomes more valuable like that.
Yeah. I totally agree.
And there's always going to be a market for man-made things. You know, like I can go to Walmart or to any of these big stores and get a belt. Like, okay, sure, it's made out of leather and maybe the metal was made in China and it's very cheap and accessible. But you know, if I want something that was handcrafted by a person that actually took the time and the years to work under as an apprentice under a master that knows how to work the tools by hand and the stitching and you know cutting the leather and all that, that's going to cost me a lot more because it's much more valuable. You know, like Japan is very famous for these industries, whether it's knife making or even like clothes making, like jeans. Their stuff is always a lot more expensive, but that's because they care. They put a lot of work into it. They have that kind of culture about it. You know, so there's I think there's always going to be a value in man-made stuff like that.
Yeah, but now with AI, I think it's going to be less and less common and like probably more expensive,
Hmm.
more and more expensive. And also, I feel like there is like non-artist people don't care that much about artists, but what they don't realize is that everything that they are doing outside of work, like I don't know if you work in an office all day,
Hmm.
like in business or anything, everything that they are doing outside of it is related to art, like movies. I don't know when you were scrolling on Twitter and seeing art, like
Hmm.
every ads, everything, every book, every music, everything, literally everything outside of work is is art related. And with AI, it's just going like I don't know, but I do feel like they don't care about us.
I would disagree. I think that's maybe right now the like people don't care because they're like, oh, okay, well, so what? If it makes me laugh, then it makes me laugh. You know, if it makes me cry, it
Mm,
makes me cry. If I still get the same emotional enjoyment, then fine, like whatever, I don't care. But I think that just like with social media, um, from the time that we first you know had Facebook and Instagram and all that, um, I think the same dynamic is going to happen with AI art, where now people with social media they realize, oh, like this actually is not like 100% like an amazing thing. There's actually a lot of negative aspects to it. You know, like when you focus on the amount of likes that you get, it changes your perception of yourself, of the world, of how you choose a partner. of how you choose what company you want to work for. Like it just changes all these different social dynamics. Like, oh, I didn't get enough likes on the photo, I must be ugly or whatever. Like we kind of went through that phase as well, where like the emphasis was like, yeah, we need to get as many likes as possible, get as much attention as possible. And I think now a lot of people are like, actually, that's really negative, and I don't want to see the world like that. I don't want to experience the world like that. I don't want to care as much about social media. So now there's like a reaction to it where people are like, "Oh, I want to spend more time offline and out into the real world. I actually want to buy a cassette player or a CD player. I don't want to be able to have Spotify, choose the music that I listen to. I want to listen to vinyls. I want to actually read physical books." There's a movement of people that they want something more traditional. I think the same thing will happen with AI. It will reach like a peak where people are like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! I can make Disney movies, with just like a sentence or two or a prompt." But then eventually, I think that the market is going to get flooded with that kind of stuff, and people are going to be like, "Okay, that's enough. This is too much. We need to take time away from it. We need to get back to something more real." I think like with anything with humanity, there's always like that peak where it becomes popular, and then people had enough, and then they go to something else.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. But yeah, for now, I still feel that way. But I I think that yeah, it will change. I hope.
I hope so too, because like I don't interview a lot of AI artists on this show. I try to be very careful with the ones that we select because there's a lot of them. There's tons of them out there. I see them on Twitter all the time,
Mm,
um, and some of their work is interesting, sure. Um, but we try to be very specific with those artists that we have on the show because we don't want to just have someone that types in a prompt, because okay, that takes maybe some skill, like you have to learn composition or different styles or the kind of words to use to do it. Like there's a little bit of work that goes into it, sure, but I'm more interested in maybe someone that, like, let's say they create their own AI model and they train it on their own like physical work. Like I think we interviewed a photographer once who took all of his photography, plugged it into the AI. So the work that he'd already done, he actually took the shots himself, put it into the AI, and it generated like those same works with like different aspects changed and whatnot. Like I'm more interested in that kind of stuff where somebody
mm,
actually
mm.
takes an AI and trains the model themselves and makes it um
Yeah, with
makes
their
it
own
person.
arts. Yeah.
Yes,
So it's not
exactly.
stealing anything, and yeah,
Yes. Like that I'm a lot more interested than somebody that just goes into like DaVinci or ChatGPT or any of these models and just says, "All right, make me a Picasso or make me a,
yeah,
a
yeah.
Dali or
I
something like
agree.
that."
Yeah.
Yeah. And the big studios, we can't, there's not really much any of us can do to stop them from using it. Um I think like recently, I don't know if you play a lot of video games, but there's a uh, one of the biggest games in the world, League of Legends. They did like a cinematic, like a video where people saw like some of the frames and they were like, "Oh, that's AI generated 100%." Or like Coca-Cola, they famously had their
Yeah.
advertisement, I think a year ago or so about Christmas, or maybe it was this year. They're always going to do that. These
Mm,
multi-billion-dollar global companies, they're going to do that no matter what. There's not much we
yeah.
can do, but yeah, on the smaller scale, yeah, for sure. I think like schools like yours or any school generally, like absolutely get that shit out of there. That that should not be
Yeah.
involved in it.
Completely.
That should not be involved at all.
Yeah. Plus, I don't understand. Like you're paying that much for school, and you're doing something that you could do at home.
Hmm.
I don't know.
And you could actually like make money doing that at home. You can actually like make a career. There's
Yeah,
people selling NFTs and like of AI art all the time. Like you could just do that. Like what are you in school for? I guess to have like a social life. You want to feel like you're not, just sitting in your apartment alone doing it. So maybe you
probably.
have
Yeah.
a social life, you know, an excuse to tell your parents at least I'm going to school. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss before we finish the show here?
Mm, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, yeah, no. In that case, might as well close it off because I know it's getting a little bit late for you there. In terms of where people can find your stuff, it's just mostly on Twitter and then the link tree that you have there.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram, um, same tag, and yeah, on yeah. So basically, everything that is on the link tree.
Perfect. Yeah. So you guys can find him at MMARSM Mars 27. We'll post all the description and everything in the episode so people can find your stuff. So yeah, thank you for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. It was really interesting to learn all these different things about how art school works in France and just your experience and what you want to do with comics going forward. Because yeah, I one of the things I love about doing these interviews is especially because we interview artists around the world. Um, I would never be exposed to like what life is like, you know, in different countries. So I'm
Yeah,
really glad that we had the time where you could share that with you.
yeah. Thank you very much. It was like very interesting talking to you, and it was also a good practice for me to talk about uh, just talking in English. And yeah, hope I did a great job.
Yeah, no, you did great. No complaints here. It was awesome. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll post all the links in the episode below, and yeah, we'll see you guys later with our next interview. Okay, now the stream is off.